For anybody that is here listening to the Cosmic RX radio here in the Cosmic RX community, you know that you are here for a purpose. You know that you are here on some grand assignment. And so there is no way that you or any of us are here to live some mediocre life that was set with rules that were not ours to begin with. So if you are standing at the door, ready to step into that next chapter of your life, let Cosmic Boss be the key that helps you unlock that, because it will absolutely do that and more.
Welcome to Cosmic RX Radio, a podcast that gives you real-life tools of spiritual empowerment and pure hype. I'm your host and intuitive guide, Maddie Murphy. I'll be serving up your weekly energy readings, Cosmic Boss interviews, and Astro inspiration. Are you ready to love yourself more, manifest your dream life, and own your magic? Let's jump in. Hello, my cosmic baddies and bosses. Welcome to a very special episode of Cosmic RX Radio. I'm your hype girl, Maddie Murphy, and today I have a little cosmic treat to tantalize you. We are diving into an epic conversation with some of my favorite and some amazing Cosmic Boss alum. These souls are true powerhouses in both the professional and personal, on the spiritual, and also just on the soul level. And I'm really excited to share a little bit of their journey of taking some of the cosmic principles we teach about working with your heart and your chart in Cosmic Boss and how they have turned them into real world magic. If you've ever wondered what it's like to really step into your purpose, move through the blocks, the fears, the imposter syndromes, but also kind of transitioning through that to feeling fully confident in your path. If you're interested in building a business, a brand, or sharing something really from the heart with the world, this episode is for you. And if you're listening and you get curious and you're like, am I ready to do this too? Yeah, you can. Our next Cosmic Boss cohort kicks off May 21st. So if you're ready to stop playing small and step fully into your light and your power, and this episode found you, this might be your sign from the universe. So let's get into it. I am so excited for you to meet and most likely fall in love with these incredible human beings. Hi, bosses. How are we doing today?
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. Hi. All right. So I'm going to allow each of you to introduce yourself so everyone can associate your voice. So who wants to kick off with saying your name, what you do, and of course, your big three?
I got this. Okay. My name is Roger Hoverson. My big three are Libra Sun, Cancer Moon, Leo Rising. And I am a Pilates and movement teacher. I've been doing that for almost 8 years now. I am feeling a little energized because one of my friends is kind of Catholic. And so the new Pope was announced less than an hour ago. And she's on a plane. And so she was like, you have to let me know what the reveal is. And so I was watching the live stream and I was like, not expecting to be like, whoa, but so it's how I'm feeling today.
Wait, thank you for that. I love it. I thought I was going to be like, yes, Mars is in Leo, of course. But you're like, actually, this is separate. This is the collective. I just talked about this on the podcast for this week. I'm like, could we just talk about how watching this conclave is something that I don't think as many of us were expected to we're not Catholic, but it's a very cool, very North Node and Pisces moment, I feel like, for us, right?
Absolutely.
It was so much faster than I thought.
Yeah, so much faster. I was like, can we drag this out a little bit? It's kind of fun, but yeah. Anyway. I love that. Okay, so energized by the Pope. We love that. All right, Roger. So excited to dive more into what you do. But no, I'm so happy you shared that. And Maggie, would you like to introduce yourselves to everyone?
Yes. Hello. My name is Maggie Fitzgerald. I'm from Vermont. I'm a jack of many trades, vaguely, loosely, all around. I'm an astrologer. My business is called Egress Astrology. And I'm also the community manager for Cosmic RX and help with the Cosmic Boss program. I'm also a watercolor artist. That business is called Libris Arts. I do commissions and stuff with that. And then, I do a lot of other things on the side. I'm coaching a high school girls tennis team right now, do some nannying. I do a lot of random things, piecing it all together. But my big three are I'm a Sagittarius sun, a Libra moon, and a Capricorn rising.
Ugh. She's a multi-hyphenate, making the world more beautiful and doing it like a boss bitch is what your big three always says to me. So we had some good double Libra in here. But no, I feel like every, especially mutable sign person is nodding along with the multi-hyphenate life. I'm like, sometimes we do a lot of things because we, like there's kind of a little bit of like the scrapping life together element, which I have definitely been there. But also the mutable energy, like we want to live multiple lives in one. We don't want to have one label, right? So I love, and especially like what you do with astrology and your art, it's so beautiful. And I am so grateful for your Cap nature. We'll get into that. But you really help keep Audrey and I chugging right along with it.
It's the only thing tying me to the ground for sure. For sure. It'd be pretty messy without some of that.
And then before we get into Devon, we'll just ask Maggie, how are you feeling today? What is the vibe?
Yeah, the vibe today also a little buzzy with the Pope news. Feeling good, but very, very excited. A little like I was trying to remember like about my Cosmic Boss experience and like it feels like I'm sure stuff will come up as we're asking questions, but I'm like checking in with my memory and be like, what was that? Like how have I
So many lifetimes ago. Okay, that is actually something before we get to Devon, I'm just going to touch upon. I feel like when you sign up for a container like this or just to be on this spiritual growth path and really like commit to it in some way, trying to check in with yourself from like 2 or 3 years ago is like literally 20, 30 years ago, lifetimes ago. Like the versions, I feel like you sign up for the warp speed spiritual like elevation, escalation, acceleration path. So it's so relatable. And I'm excited to kind of time travel with you and try and get back there a little bit. But just that alone is such a valid point.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's what it feels like for sure.
Okay, Devon is back, and we're just introducing ourselves, what we do, our big three, and a little bit of like, our vibe check, how we're feeling today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Devon. It's so good to be here. I'm an intuitive guide and energy healer and the founder of Enlighten and Empower and co-founder of Empower Wellness Retreats. And it's so good to see familiar faces here. And yeah, speaking of time, I'm like, what is time? I still don't get it. Like my human self still struggles with the man-made construct of time.
Right. I'm like, it's 2:15 p.m. in 2025. Who said, where, how, what? That's incredible. Wait, and Devon, what's your big three again? Tell everyone. Or did you say it? Or I'm like,
I did not know.
I'm just captivated by your smile right now. I'm like,
Oh, I'm a Sagittarius sun, Virgo moon and rising.
okay. I love it. We have some nice cosmic dots connecting here. We were just talking about mutable signs and how we love doing the most and owning our multi-hyphen self. And Devon, thank you for being here. You're such a calming presence to me. And you're always like, you're just like a calming human crystal. Like, and it's really lovely. We were just saying we're so buzzy because of the new Pope announcement. But we're feeling it. So I really appreciate your presence. Just feels so grounding and lovely. And I'm just been one of the reasons that we're having this conversation today is Maggie and I were just gushing how proud we are of you, and you're just doing amazing things. And it's very cool to watch you show up and glow up in the world. But let's speaking of this time travel and what is time, let's go back in time, origin stories for everyone. I don't want to speak for each of you, but I assume that a lot of you were in a place of kind of knowing that you were either doing something on your own or starting or wanting to, and something led you to Cosmic Boss. There was like an itch or a nudge or something that you maybe were working on that felt a little sticky on your own. So I would love to hear from each of you of, like what were you doing before Cosmic Boss times? And maybe what was like the impetus or the catalyst that kind of forced you to be like, not forced you, hopefully lovingly flowed you into being like, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me, dog.
So I did Cosmic Boss in 2022, fall of 2022, and then started helping with the cohort after that, which was Devon's cohort. And for me at the time, I had left college early a couple years before that. I had worked at a job that like really burnt me out like crazy for a couple years and had left that and was sort of doing some in between nannying work at that time, which I did really love, but knew it wasn't something that I wanted to do like long term or like my end goal. And was really looking to like come back to myself as a creative, as a multi passionate, trying to figure out like that direction. And definitely something for like my Sagittarius sun and my Libra moon being in the ninth house, like needing purpose, needing direction, needing meaning. And I had birth chart readings before, and I'd found a lot of value in each of those experiences and really wanted to like delve in with a community of like other entrepreneurial type people and see like other ways of being, other ways of making money, other ways of like existing in the world as best we can while also like trying to express ourselves to our fullest extent and find meaning in what we do. And yeah, so the Cosmic Boss program, when you had been talking about it like the first time around several years before that, maybe in 2020, it had like piqued my interest and I was just sort of had that on my radar. And then when you launched the next one in 2022, I was like, okay, I think I got to do this. This will be fun. I have nothing else crazy going on right now. So let's dive in and get to know myself a little bit more. So that was the push at that time, was sort of just feeling lost and floaty and curious and wanting to connect with that like inner drive of wanting that I always feel pushing me forward.
Oh, I love that. Everything so really, the burnout, when you said that, I was like, just like coming from like a lot of people come into Cosmic Boss, but somewhere in their past is some sort of moment of burnout or just like enough is enough with this way of doing things. And I like what you said about, yeah, just being exposed to the community and people just different ways of doing things, right? And really seeing it and experiencing it, not just like reading about it or like I kind of know in some way that exists, but watching it play out in action and people tell, their stories and sharing their viewpoints and their lived experience. Okay, so beautiful. Who would like to go next? Devon, Roger?
I'll go. I can really relate to what Maggie was talking about having Cosmic RX or Cosmic Boss program on my radar quite a while before joining. A little bit of my background is I'm a classically trained flutist, and I had finished my graduate degree in 2021, and I was living in Dallas at the time, and I it was a rough time, kind of burnt me out a bit. So I have still kind of taken a step back from that. I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do with that. I had been teaching Pilates and movement for several years leading up to that anyway. And then I moved from Dallas to Boston in the end of 2022. And that was a real like life upside down cake moment. And, lots of good things, but lots and lots of challenges. Over the course of last year, I had I don't know, it was the weirdest thing. What I know now, I guess, is I like went through a breakup and I was like reeling a little bit. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna like leave Boston. I've got to like leave, start over, do everything fresh. And right at the last minute, the universe just kind of like wrapped a whole bunch of stuff up in a bow and like gave it to me. And I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to teach Pilates on my own. I've been teaching at Boston University and a private studio in Cambridge. And my clients just were like, no, we want to keep working with you. How do we do that? And I was like, uh, let me make a website. Like, okay. One thing led to another. And my cohort, I think, also started last May, if I remember correctly. So almost exactly a year ago. And so right when I was getting ready to do that was right when I like launched my business. So it was really affirming in a lot of ways on one hand, because every time we would go through something in my chart or something in the content, I was like, oh, this makes like a lot of sense, which is really, it was really nice because, like I said, it seems like for the past couple of years, things have been a little bit roller coastery. So it was very nice to have that validation for a lot of stuff.
Yes. Oh, the life upside down cake moment. When you said that, I was like, yes, that's just when you're like, you have a plan. And the universe is like, how about the exact opposite of everything that you were just thinking? Or this like curveball. And yeah, like, yeah, all those moments of big like transformation and shifts you go through, it can be so disorienting, but it's like also where so much potentiality for new ways of being come out of. So I'm so happy and excited that you were able to see that for what it is, and the universe giving you like the nudges or wrapping things up with a bow. And yeah, we'll get into some of the other stuff, but I love the like I think you also are ready to start your cosmic boss journey when people start finding you and being like, hey, tell me how to work with you, tell me how to give you money for this, and you're just like,
Absolutely.
okay. Like, hold on.
Exactly. I was like, oh my God, I guess this is what I'm doing now. So here we go.
Like, I wasn't on the plan, but okay, I can't ignore this. So I love that. I'm excited to dig more into that. And Devon, tell us, yeah, your origin story. I love your story. Tell us about where you were at before Cosmic Boss.
Yeah, I'm loving this walk down memory lane because I had to look back at exactly the time that I was in Cosmic Boss, and it was the spring of 2023. So 2 years ago now, which is just wild.
So wild. You all are tripping me out. I'm like, you've done so much in this time. Keep going.
Yeah. And I think about it, I was only about 1 year into my business. I previously was a special education teacher for 6 years and went on quite the spiritual journey. And it led me to leaving my teaching career of 6 years and starting my own business, what started out as a Reiki practitioner and then quickly evolved across that first year where I was a coach and developing coaching programs and running events. Yet I think back to that springtime of 2023, vivid memory, Maddie. And I've told you this one before. I was sitting at the top of a hill in between two of my favorite trees, and I was crying because I felt so just stuck in my business and where I was going. And I think back to that version of me then, and I'm like, that girl's so cute. She thinks that she has to have it all figured out. This girl has been less than a year in her soulpreneur journey. And she, she's so cute.
So cute. Aw.
But the feelings are so real. And I remember in my crying episode, just being like, universe, please guide me. Like, show me where I'm meant to go next. And very shortly after, Cosmic Boss dropped right into my field with an opportunity that I could not pass up. And it happened like that. And so, talk about, I like to call them love nudges or like universe redirects or whatnot. That's how I found myself in Cosmic Boss.
Oh my goodness. I love that. And to me, like, yeah, you were I feel like you like hit the ground running. Like you came into Cosmic Boss and I remember just like, bing, like you dropped in. And I think that sometimes is what our soul is just waiting for, like that yes, that like, okay, I'm committed to taking something to the next level and getting help or the container for it. You all are tripping me out with these timelines. Roger, when you said last May, I'm like, what?
I
Like,
know. I have no idea. No idea how it happened. And I'm glad that Devon was saying how she felt a year in because yeah, it's like that first year mark.
the first year mark, and I love Devon, like just looking back and again, we start these things and we expect ourselves to have so much figured out, but we also do like what happened with you is like we might be waiting for opportunity to you use the word soulpreneur, and I also will add like solopreneur. A lot of people come to Cosmic Boss are doing something on their own, whether that's like again a podcast or a book or a business or a healing helping practice, and it's like when you're doing something alone, every day it can feel like forever, or you have these problems or these things that just feel like, oh my God, or it gets so hard on yourself. Why am I not, why didn't I write that whole book in the month like I thought I was going to do? Why don't I have, my calendar completely booked out? And that soul and solopreneur and solopreneur journey, I just feel like you do need some sort of space, right? Whatever it is, to be witnessed in what you're doing, to workshop things, to be validated, like you said, Roger, to feel like, okay, like Maggie, like, okay, this is what I want to really like focus channel into. I want to hear other people's ideas and thoughts and ways of being. I love the working for yourself, but I think truly like the best, most successful people, they're not working for themselves and by themselves all the time. Right. So, okay, that might lead us into this or something different. And I know it may be hard to narrow down to one, but we'll try to for time's sake, or one or two. For each and every one of you, is there some sort of an aha or a transformational moment in Cosmic Boss that just stands out to you? Or it could be like a tool or just something that you had a moment that you were like, ah, because for anyone who hasn't been in Cosmic Boss yet, I am a Virgo-licious in it. I pack, like that's me packing a suitcase for a trip is Cosmic Boss. Like one more thing in here. Okay, just one more lesson, one more module. And I know that people who take the course are like, we've taken it in 2020. We're still coming back to like stuff we didn't have time to do. And I'm like, that's fine. My just goal as your cosmic mama is to be like, you have everything for your journey. But I always just put the charge, the intention, the spell that I like to cast over the program is like, you just need one thing. You just need one aha moment. You need one click, and then it kind of leads you to your next one, right? And so I always like to tell people that I believe in a lot of like transformation by transmission. I'm like, this is not memorizing this whole course. There's no like test. There's no, SAT at the end of this. It's just like by being in the course, there's your soul is like perfect. Now I'm ready. Now I can kind of move in a certain way. So hearing this, is there anything that like stands out to you that would be like the that's a moment, something that stands out?
The greatest thing for me was just getting that sacred permission to be exactly how I was designed to be. And that was huge.
Oh my gosh. I have chills when you said that, right? Okay. And was that, you found that through like the working through the astrology of it, and elaborate on that a teensy bit, but I'm so there with you.
I loved the Mad Libs part of Cosmic Boss. I loved getting to create the blueprint of me. And I very much appreciate your Virgo-ness in that creation because it was so comprehensive. And my Virgo moon and rising as well was just like all the details. Yes, anything that I can analyze, anything that I can piece together and connect, and getting to do that with my own personal makeup and understanding how that applies to me in business was the best. It was exactly what I needed when I was sitting on that hill crying in between two trees, was just to know that I am exactly where I need to be in everything that I am envisioning for myself and for the world, everything that I want for myself and the world through my business is perfectly connected to all of my natal placements.
Oh, so well said. Shout out to those two trees, by the way, for holding you. That's the real heroes of this journey, but those trees. And yeah, I love that, the permission slip. And I also love the Virgo energy, a healthy opportunity to analyze, a healthy opportunity to really dive deep. And I think that there's something so interesting when anyone who's on this call, or people listening to this right now, we have these like a calling, right? It's a calling. You feel something that wants to come out of you, but it's so nebulous, so amorphous. It's so not, the tangible, logical things we're used to, that it takes something a little bit outside of ourselves to reflect back that mirror of like, this is literally what you were born to do. That thing that's lit you up since you were a child, the thing you can't stop thinking about, the thing that you keep like complimenting on, or the things that you're really good at, like they're in you for a reason. So I love that. Thank you, Devon. Oh, so yummy, so powerful. Yeah, who would like to share their aha or their transformational tool next?
I can totally relate again to what Devon said about having that permission. I was actually reviewing some content earlier this week when I found out we were going to be recording. And yeah, it's just so helpful to have that mirror, like you said, because I can't exactly pinpoint it. I was watching the Sagittarius module and I was going through it and I was reviewing some stuff, and I was finally able to like put a finger on why something was bugging me in a situation with a client. And long story short, I need to raise my prices. But okay, but the other thing was it really made me take stock of how important it is for me to check in with myself before I make decisions, especially like as a sole entrepreneur. And sometimes I find myself being a little bit impatient or very quick. And looking back, I think that if I had maybe no judgment to past self, but it's like if I had taken a little bit of time, I feel like I could have made like a decision that maybe I wouldn't have been in the situation I am now. Not that it's bad, but I was able to really pinpoint like, oh, if I'm not taking care of myself, if I'm not valuing myself throughout this process, it's going to affect how I show up. And especially, and I'm sure we all can relate to this, it's like so much of what we do is how we show up with people. So, if I'm feeling a little resentful or something, it's like, okay, well, I gotta figure out why and check it and take care of that, take care of myself so that I continue, to connect and provide value the way that my clients expect me to. So that was something that just happened this week.
Wow, I like it in real time. I love that. Wow, Roger, I love that, and I love yes, well, and kind of working backwards, and then you just said like I think a big thing that I like to kind of infuse into Cosmic Boss is what you said, like not just what we do, but how we do it, and I think that is sort of the antidote to so many things that can get in our way as solopreneurs, whether that's comparing ourselves to someone else, like there's a lot of astrologers out there, there's a lot of people who teach movement, but it's like, okay, well, it's not what you do, it's how you do in that way. But also it's like very, it's not about showing up like perfectly, never missing a beat, but showing up with the right intentions, the right energy. And likewise, the same thing goes for yourself, like showing up really clear and grounded is going to have you offer a better experience, service, whatever we're offering in the world in a way that we can really stand behind and then also charge our worth. Like it's so funny how that one statement, I'm like, wow, I just see so much of the like healthy ecosystem for being a solopreneur comes off of that. And I love that you just like went back and checked the content and you had that experience. And that's partly what I also hope it's like almost like an oracle of the Cosmic Boss information in the module, because as you grow and change and evolve in your entrepreneurial journey, the information is going to have, it's going to land in different ways. It's going to mean different things to you. And of course, as your chart evolves, as we go through different transits, right? As maybe like certain parts of our chart are activated through certain returns or big moments in the astrological landscape, it means something different. Like right now, I'm like, whoa, like all this Aries in the chart, right? The North Node and then Neptune and Saturn. Like I'm kind of revisiting my Aries part of my chart with a whole new lens. So that's just a really beautiful like illustration of that. Love it. And Maggie, I know it might be hard for Maggie as a community manager. You're like, I have sat with this information a lot, but if you can think of something.
Yeah, so I think that is just something I was reflecting on as everyone was talking. Like the aha moment is a hard question to answer because throughout Cosmic Boss, like there's literally little ones. Every single thing that you read, every single like point that we go through in the program, like you have a little aha moment of like, oh, I forgot that I really loved to do that thing. Or like, especially for someone like me or like other multi-passionates, like I literally forget the things that I care about all the time. Probably some of the ADHD too, but like, oh my God, what have I been doing? I'm trying to find a job, but like, I just want to sing. Why am I wasting my time like, doing anything else? Or like I literally forget about those things. So having like a blueprint, like Devon was saying, like having something that was like easy and succinct to come back to over and over again is so, so helpful. And yeah, every time you look at it, it'll be different. Every time I've done a cohort with a new group of people and someone has had a question about a particular part in their chart, I'll look at that part of my chart and I'll be like, oh, I never noticed that before. Like it just totally, anytime you look, there's something new. But in terms of like little aha moments that have definitely helped a lot of like while we were in the Cosmic Boss program, like sort of helped me figure out like why the like previous job that I had that got really burnt out on, like why that was burning me out so much. Part of it is my issues with authority figures, Chiron in the 10th house in Scorpio. Um, and, but like that Scorpio in the 10th house too, like I need a place where like there's like no secrets in a workplace. Like I need a place where like nobody's trying to hide anything from each other or hide anything from clients or like that is something that like wears me down so much. And that was something that was really helpful to pinpoint. And yeah, and that like, oh, working for myself might be better for me or like having more freedom in my structure of my work based off of like my Sagittarius sun or my moon in the ninth house. Like lots of little things that I feel like I've been able to like make a better list of like those checks and balances for myself, like to make decisions based off of. And that's something that I found really valuable from the program as a whole and like all the specific parts of your chart, being able to figure out like, okay, what are my basic needs with my moon? What are like the things that I might be triggered by, but should like work through and push through based on my Chiron, or what things really, really light me up based on my sun, like being able to sort of make a list of those checks and balances and then compare things to them to be like, okay, does this actually fit with what I need to do or what I do? And I use that all the time, constantly still, like as I'm adding things to my roster of little miscellaneous jobs, like, is this a place where like I'm going to be able to see problems and not be able to fix them because I don't have the power to? And like my Scorpio in the 10th house absolutely hates that. And so knowing knowing that like I need a place where like I have a voice where like maybe the problems aren't that big if I can't fix them, like if they're not, that weighty, like being able to figure out those things so that I don't find myself in situations where I'm like, how am I here again? Which it happens all the time too. But at least I can figure out why a lot faster.
Awareness is everything. You're right.
Yeah.
Going through it a little faster is what it's all about. I was just talking about that with a former cosmic boss this morning.
Just very quickly too, one of the aha moments I definitely had during the program was experiencing how much I loved helping other people understand their charts. Like if something was clicking for me and someone else wasn't quite getting it, like I really loved like messaging them on the side and like helping them figure it out or like meeting one-on-one with someone and like looking through their chart together and that definitely was an indicator of like, oh, I really like this like coaching mentality, like uplifting other people, watching other people have those aha moments. And so that definitely led a lot to me being like, oh, I think I do want to be an astrologer and do this for people too. So that definitely was part of what I got out of that program too.
Oh, that's so good. I love what you said about like, yeah, just back to like the grounding and like you said, really like it's like funny we forget the things we like. It reminds me of like when I go grocery shopping, I like always be like, oh yeah, like I forget what food I like every time I go grocery shopping. But like this is much bigger, like your life purpose. You're like, oh yeah, like I forget that I really enjoy this or I'm really freaking good at this and seeing that like listed out and feeling really validated and really clear. And then using that as like a way to assess decisions and I feel like a lot of also what I'm hearing in all of you is like developing this really clear level like self-trust, which I think you need, whether it's like, if you want to call it our intuition or just like feeling really self-assured, really capable. Like I can trust myself that I know what I'm good at, that I know if I get into or I get into a situation where things get a little leaky somewhere, or I know how to like make my way out of it, which is I think invaluable because then you can trust yourself to make any decision. You can choose to leap and be like, there's no bad choice. I can just figure it out if I need to, right? And so I loved hearing you share that. And then of course, like with the charts, I love that you realize that in real time because listen, my Virgo ass would not trust a lot of people to interpret astrology on our behalf and Cosmic RX and the cosmic community and Cosmic Boss. But I was like, yeah, Maggie is really good at this. And like, that's exactly what I would have said. And I was like, go off, queen. So I'm so happy that you got to discover yourself on so many levels and the meta level that led you here to doing this work now.
And Maddie, I feel like that self-trust comes from a place of deeply understanding yourself, accepting yourself, and realizing like, oh yeah, this is me. This is what I've always been meant for. And thus, of course, I trust myself.
And thus, of course I can do this. And I can just trust myself if I take a few steps out, it doesn't feel good, I can come back into alignment, like recognize that, right? Have that awareness. And I am meant for this, or I can do this. And everything we're talking about, again, kind of relates back to that, whether it's charging your worth, trying new things, sharing your voice. It's just like, all right, I really have that trust in who I am, what I offer. So I absolutely love that. Roger, do you want to add something?
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, it's another little riffing off of this. I mean, it's so funny because I was remembering yesterday that Gemini's in my 11th house. And like Maggie, I'm so curious about so many different things. It's like as soon as I learn something, I have to like share it with someone. And so I was like looking at that and I was like, oh yeah, that's why I do that. Like I'm supposed to in one ear and out my mouth at you. Like that's of course. And so I just wanted to another little angle on that, but absolutely 100%.
I love that. I love that. So also as someone who like has worked many different jobs and industries and always gotten like bored working for yourself and then doing it through the lens of your chart, you will always, like Maggie and you both said, like find something about yourself again, like, oh yeah, or like something makes, hits differently. And I just love, shout out to like, there's so much I always love about Cosmic Boss. The community is like my top favorite. And then my secondary is just learning your 12 houses. Like that we all have every sign in our chart and we can know what they mean and how, and it's like unlocking all these like magical worlds within our world of like so much there. So I love that each of you have kind of touched upon that. Now, like, let's do a little sacred bragging on ourselves. A big thing that we love to talk about is like we talk about our celebrations, our challenges in Cosmic Boss. And I do love to encourage like sharing our wins and something that feels really good because one, I think it's important for you to hear them. But I think it's important for someone, listening right now to hear maybe again where you started and then, where you're at now. So is there something that comes to mind that feels like a celebration or a win or just like a positive shift? And we've kind of like alluded to them a little bit, but something since Cosmic Boss, whether that's like an aligned project or an offering or just the way you're showing up, that we can point to and be like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I can go first. Obviously, launching my own astrology business last summer, that being like something I would never have thought I could do, but yeah, loving working for myself. My Instagram is totally on a hiatus right now, but I am still doing meetings and stuff if anybody's trying to find me. But this winter, something that I really loved about Cosmic Boss was like sort of learning how to make connections with other people and like get some of that like networking experience just in making friends with people that I thought were interesting and wanting to be involved with each other because we all, honestly, everyone in these groups are all like, I'm very excited for all, like, I'm obsessed with all of you. You're so cool. They're all really cool and like obsessed with each other. And so it's like very, very healthy networking experience. And like that has spread into other parts of my life too. And this winter, friend locally who I met going to yoga classes, she's a yoga teacher. She and I hosted like a in-person, like 4-week workshop at our homes, focusing on like Chiron and the shadows in your chart and incorporating like astrology and some like yoga and somatics. And that was just so fun to be able to do. And like, it was just a small group of 4 women locally, and they were all awesome. Didn't know any of them beforehand. And like just being able to like bring that like community feeling somewhere else and to be able to create it with new people was something that I was like really, I'm very proud of myself for having done and really excited to do more of going forward. But yeah, that definitely was a lot of overlap and bleed over from all my experiences with Cosmic Boss.
Oh my goodness, so well said. And I couldn't agree more with you. Like every person who comes in, I'm like, I'm obsessed with you. I want to be best friends with you. I want to learn everything that you ever had to say and share. And I want to like braid your hair and hang out at the summer party. And I want to squeeze you. And I never want to ever leave you. And it's like, but it's weird. I'm like, how is everyone like that? Like it's like a crazy energetic of the group. And hence why like, I was doing things like this. And we had Devon came to New York City last summer, spring, whatever that was for our, we had a big community event and Roger, I'm definitely going to have to like stalk you in Boston or have you come down to New York. Like, I just love these groups. And I think, like you said, it also on a larger level kind of reminds us in this modern time we're living in where there's so much social media and stuff. It's like, No. Like actually connecting with humans and putting yourself out there, which is very vulnerable sometimes, to do things that are collaborative and be together is so nourishing. It's so good for the life force energy, for the soul. I love what you said that. And I'm literally cracking up. I was like trying to pull up my phone on the sly of like next week, May 15th, I literally have an NYC Cosmic Boss lunch like on the books with like people from the 2020 round. And I love like, I just love this group and what it's taught me about like, yes, certain things in life you're going through alone, but you don't have to. And also it's like, it always just feels so much better, right? To collaborate, to co-create, to have these like co-conspirators on the journey. So really well said, Maggie. And who would like to share next?
Could I just go ahead and say real quick, the idea of how to connect with others and that networking and community, I believe that 100%. And I feel like it's been coming up for me lately. I don't really know why, but Maggie said she's kind of on a Instagram hiatus. I pulled the plug on all of my social media in January. And I love that. I'm happy with that, but I'm trying to connect with people like IRL in some way. And, I have some musician friends in Boston and we were having lunch and I told them, I was like, you know what? Like this itself is community. I was like, that word gets thrown around so much, but we're here having lunch, taking care of each other. We're here talking about our fears or talking about projects we're doing or all those different things. And I don't know what that's going to look like. I don't know what I need to do with that yet, but that's something that's very present in my mind lately. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Oh, I do. And I think that social media it can be a blessing or a burden, a curse. It's something, right? It's very charged, the energy. And sometimes it's charged with good things and not good things. But no matter what, like too much of it is definitely like numbing for us. So I love like the pulling back and like where is the community that sometimes we think we're seeking online. But like social media is something, but it's not like community. It's like what you're describing and remembering that that is part of our journey, especially during this like Pluto and Aquarius era we're going to be moving through, is so richly important for us, right?
Absolutely. I hope it didn't sound like I was poo-pooing Instagram. But
No,
it's like,
first of all, poo poo it. No, poo poo it. It's fine.
it's one of those things I was like, I need some space, so.
I think anyone listening, I'm sure to this can relate to that. Like, and I think I was energetically sensitive. Social media can be a lot. Like, I feel like I go through moments of like goodbye for like months where I have to show up over here, there. Right now, I'm like, I'm in it, I'm on it. Cause I'm like, okay, the books, I'm at the Cosmic Boss. I'm like excited. But I know, trust me, y'all aren't going to see me on there in like 2026. I'm like, bye, back into my cave. This is just my relationship with social media. And I've had to just learn like, that's okay. It's a relationship. We have to learn what's healthy with the behaviors, what's not. But I think what you're saying, if I may, like one thing I'm taking away from it is like what I'm hearing you say is too, like, I think we've thought that social media on some level, subconscious or not, a lot of us replace our need for connection with like, oh, social media, right? Or community. But it's like, not really. It's a spot to like make a connection, then you have to foster it or like get a little inspiration. Then you have to go do the thing. And instead, I think a lot of us were just scrolling, and then we're just like walk away feeling really depressed or overwhelmed or uninspired or really disconnected. So I think that was actually like a really important, when you were saying that, I was like, yeah. And I was kind of thinking about, we have our WhatsApp group, the Cosmic Boss, and now there's an alum group. And a few people have been like really firing off in it lately. And I was thinking like between that and like my family group chat of baby pictures, I'm like, really, this is like my true social media. Like that other place is just a weird place I go to shout into the void and like try to manifest some things out into like the collective. But like this is like my true like social like happy place of community. So beautiful. And then do we have a win or like a celebration outside of that we want to share?
I kind of forgot about this. So I'm glad you asked because I think I forget very quickly my wins. So last summer in August, I kind of last minute, I think I gave people 2 weeks notice or something, but I decided to do a breathing and core workshop for my clients. I think Maggie, you were actually there, which is super cool.
I was there. I went to it.
It's amazing.
It was great.
Thank you. Thank you. So, I just told my clients, I said, hey, I really want to nerd out about like breathing mechanics in your body and how that relates to your core work, what that actually means. That's something that's really important to me. There's just so many misconceptions about like what your core is or how you breathe or all these things. And we have all these hangups about it because of patriarchy and capitalism, et cetera. So I just limited it to an hour and a half. I think we had like 15 people, maybe like myself included. I think there were like 12 or 15 of us. And it was so much fun. It was one of those things I was like, oh my God, I actually know what I'm talking about. Like I was worried that I would set this up and, freeze in the middle, or I would say something and clients would be like, how do you know that? Is that real? And I wouldn't have an answer or something, all those little things. But we had a blast. I had so much fun. It went really well. And two people were there that one of my other clients had referred, and then they've been my clients for like since then. So it worked out like it was this wonderful educational thing that I'm really passionate about and informational to my clients. And then it also gave like a really nice preview to prospective clients. So as I'm saying this, I'm like, I got to do this again.
And you're like, wait a minute, I did this really awesome thing.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. I love that illustration. First of all, I love what you opened it up with. One reason I feel like we do it often, like celebration, challenge, share a win, because we're just barreling through life and we're like, okay, things that felt like such big mountains for us to climb, we do them. And it's like human nature to be like, what's the next peak? What's the next thing? And instead of being like, actually, that's incredible that I did this thing. Like that was something past me was dreaming, hoping, wishing, praying for, manifesting. So that's just a cool like aha about our human brain and how we work. But I love like putting together these offerings that are just so soul led, and then you get your tools of how to do it, put it together. And it is part of it is just doing it, right? Like you have to just do it and see like, oh, in the doing it, I realize I do know, I have to kind of face this head on, but I do know more than I maybe think I do even. And I'm really good at this. Again, confirming what we're this proof of concept we're putting together and things like that you're in your gifts. And then just like the ripple effect that creates, right? The new clients, and then you also feeling even more in that sense of like self mastery and authority and in your passions. So that's a big win. But I also want to really give credit to like, that's hard. Like putting together events are hard logistics wise. And then just putting yourself out there as like, I'm going to teach something, because you do have that thing of like, there's going to be that person in the crowd who's like, what? Why? Does it make sense? No. And then you're like, actually, it was amazing and everyone loved me. And like, this is me and my gifts. Oh, right. Duh. I was born for this. So beautiful, beautiful. Okay. So speaking of, someone said IRL experiences before. I was like, Devon, queen of IRL experiences. But what is, a win or a celebration, on your end? Again, I know there's many.
Yeah, I love this question too. And, speaking of that fear that you have building up, every single time I'm about to launch an event, that what if I throw a birthday party and no one shows up? Fear pops into my head. I'm like, tell me why, because I'm pretty sure none of my childhood birthday parties,
real.
Nobody showed up, but it's there.
The human need for belonging, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so, I walked away from Cosmic Boss, like knowing more so strongly who I am and what lights me up. And then I asked myself that question, okay, like how does my Mars and Cancer in 11th house want to take action? How does my Mercury and Sagittarius in the third house want to communicate? And of course, with that Mars placement, bringing people together in safe, sacred spaces and helping them feel seen and helping them feel held and supported is what I am so passionate about. So that's what I've taken with me. And anytime that I'm about to launch something or create something and then launch it, that fear is there. And then I remember, this is what lights me up. And this is what I'm so passionate about. And this is what I'm so good at, similar to what Roger was talking about too, of like, oh wait, I'm actually really good at this. And nobody is questioning me. Nobody's judging me in that way. And so I've really been loving the in-person gatherings and events. And across the past few years, it has now evolved where last year I really took off in it, where I was hosting backyard events in my own home. And I was traveling the world hosting Reiki trainings. And then my biggest win to date, I just co-hosted my first international retreat in Costa Rica.
She's international. She's global.
I'm international.
Sweetie.
And that's on being a Sagittarius.
Yes, that is on being a Sagittarius.
I love that. That's amazing.
Thank you. And every time I've had that fear, what if nobody shows? What if this completely flops, fails? I just have to keep doing it.
That's like my favorite Georgia O'Keeffe quote. It's where she's like, I've been scared every day of my life and I never let it stop me from doing anything. And I'm like, okay, just tattoo that on my forehead. Well,
Yes.
Oh my God, literally preach Georgia O'Keeffe. I'm trying to pull up her birth chart. I think she's a Scorpio, but I don't know. I'm like,
she is a Scorpio.
Love that. Okay. I was like, the vagina flowers. I was like, I'm guessing a Scorpio.
Oh my God. And her interviews are so good. Like everyone just go read Joan Didion's essay on O'Keeffe. It's amazing.
Oh my goodness. I love, first of all, I'm literally living for like the cultural like attaché energy of just like everyone go do yourself a favor. Read some Joan Didion and Georgia O'Keeffe. But like Devon, what you were saying, I think is so important. And it really is actually such a beautiful medicine of Sag energy of like keeping like this thing of every moment you're going to continue to expand, you're going to find that growth edge and you're going to have this old like thoughts and fears and things like bubble up, right? And it's like, okay, that's kind of natural. It actually means you're doing something cool and exciting and you're pushing past your comfort zone. But it also means that you have to like know exactly what helps you move past that so you can show up. And again, like knowing who you are and what you're here to do, it's just the difference of like, hey, like doing this event, I don't know what is, like standing 10 toes down. I'm like, I'm doing this. I know I might not have everything perfect. Like the Instagram I might not launch the way I wanted to or have the perfect like setup with the sound. But you know what I'm going to do? My Mars in Cancer is going to make people feel like they have a fucking cosmic mama on their side and they feel home in this world and they are perfect just as they are. And that is, right, the energetic secret sauce of like, what people are coming for subconsciously or not and being like, oh, right. And there's something about like knowing that in you. And that's what you focus on. Like my job is just to stay in that lane and just trust that and like let everything else kind of fall into place. And when you were talking, I think everyone when they're talking is reflecting on themselves. I'm like, that's exactly how I feel with everything I do. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this thing. Or I have the same every freaking event we do offering we have. I'm like, no one's going to show up. I'm always like side texting my sisters. I'm like, you're going to show up, right? Like, just so there's like a body there, like, right? And they're like, yeah, but I think like people are going to come. Like, I just don't know. You just never know, right? And whether that is, but then you're like, what I am going to do is even there's one person there, I'm going to bust out, the things that make me and what they came for. And there's something about that that's so like amplifies, your energetic resonance, your power, and then it keeps like feeding itself. And I love that, Devon. And like, yeah, from the backyard to the international, I was like, this is me on my couch breastfeeding in my stained poop on my sweatpants. Whose is it? We don't know. And I'm just like, Devon, you go off. And I'm like, I want to go on one of Devon's retreats. And like, I was so proud of you because like, it's a lot energetically to show up in that space and logistically and everything. But I was like, you just look so clear and you just look so radiant in who you are. Like, it wasn't like no faking it, no trying to be someone else, no pretense. And I was like, that's my girl, like shining. And, those two trees, again.
Shout out to those two trees.
Shout out to those two trees, rooting you on, doing the big work. Okay, so as we kind of like wrap up here, I would love to hear before we have you share your offerings and what you're up to. And Maggie, if you want, you can go first with this because I know you're on a time crunch, but just like one sentence, one, little sound bite of advice. If someone is on the fence, they're like hearing this, they're like, I think Cosmic Boss is right for me, but who am I to do this? I'm not ready. I don't have a business, or I have 5 businesses. I know all the things going through people's head right now. I'm not ready. It's too much. I don't have enough time or money, but like, this is calling me. Is there something you say to someone? And this could even be like larger than Cosmic Boss, but just someone who wants to take that next step in the direction of their dreams. Like, if someone's on the fence, was there something you would offer them or say to them, or something that you tell yourself, like just give people a little hype?
I think that so many different kinds of people come into Cosmic Boss. You have people ready to launch something, people who are kind of lost, like I was, or just really curious about themselves, curious about astrology, curious about meeting other people. Like, so many different reasons to join. I think speaking to the people who might have shared my experience, like, if you are someone who feels like a constant ache for like something bigger, something more, like, that ache may always be there. I think that that's something that I've really learned about myself, that this is part of like that like drive. But this program like really helps you feel so expansive, and like getting to explore your chart this deeply like is such a blessing for feeling just really excited about, like everyone else was talking about too, just like about being who you are, but just like something I love about astrology in general, um, that Cosmic Boss provides too, is just feeling really excited about being alive. That is the biggest like thing that I try to give to people through my birth chart readings, and absolutely like diving into it through Cosmic Boss and building that community provides too. Like, if you're someone who is feeling burnt out or like lost or just curious or wanting something a little bit more and not really sure about like what that might be, or even like wanting to remember something about yourself, it's just such a beautiful like container for that, and really leaves people really, really excited about who they are and where they're going and like the future. And I've seen that over and over again with all the different people that we've had in cohorts, like just reawakening that excitement for life. And that's definitely my favorite thing about astrology in general, but Cosmic Boss for sure.
Oh, it makes me want to cry. It makes me want to cry. Maggie, is so beautiful, so well said. And honestly, like, yeah, whether it's a business or brand, all this stuff is like, it's all a vehicle. It's all a vehicle for us to share our gifts and learn about ourselves. It's really about living a life where you feel alive and vibrant, and where it's not perfect every day, but you feel excited to be alive and reconnected back to like something, inspiration, spirit, yourself, remembering. So beautifully said. Obviously, again, I know you have to hop off, so I'm going to tell people that if they want to work with you, obviously come to Cosmic Boss. They'll get a lot of you. But you're offering readings or anything you want to plug right now?
My website is egrisastrology.com, and that's my Instagram handle as well, Egris Astrology. And yeah, I do birth chart readings, general and year ahead. And then this summer, hopefully soon, I will be launching some like mini readings as well. So there's like stuff at different price points. But yeah, I love reading charts. I love like this experience of connecting with other people through that. And then in addition to that, like I said, I also do watercolor commissions. Love to paint your pets. If anybody wants a pet portrait, I love it. It's so fun. And yeah, always happy to like work with people on price if that's an issue. Like, I want to work with as many people as possible, and love reading charts. So yeah, look ahead. Follow me on Instagram, because I will be posting about whenever those mini readings are launched as well. But yeah, I'd love to read for you. I'd love to help you plan your year ahead. Super fun. And I'd love to see you in Cosmic Boss, because that's like the most fun.
All the time. And get more of it. If you like it, come get more of it, Cosmic Boss. All right. Well, thank you, Maggie. So well said. Truly like poetry, a love letter right to my soul. I appreciate that share. And then who would like to go next? Devon or Roger? Just something like speaking some sort of words of encouragement or exhortation into somebody listening to this at home that might be on the fence.
As someone who does my best to look out for signs, this is your sign, me talking right now, if you're thinking about it. But no, what I mean by that is, I mean, that's how I came to it. That's how it was for me. I was in the right place, and all of a sudden it kept coming up in my inbox. And I was like, okay, like I said, and Maggie was saying this too, you really learn and then remember about yourself, which is just it's so potent. And and it doesn't like she also said, you don't have to have a business or an offering even in your mind or on your radar. If you are just curious about learning more about yourself, about others, about how to be in the physical plane and how to connect with other people, it's such a beautiful space. And Maggie and Maddie have done such a great job, and Audrey too. Everyone has done such a great job of creating a wonderful space to learn and to grow and to connect. And even though I'm not in the WhatsApp group anymore because I pulled the plug, I miss it a little bit sometimes because it was just so nice to have that resource available because there were like 20 of us in my cohort. And so many different people you meet. I mean, all different ages, different backgrounds, different specialties, different interests. And, iron sharpens iron. So it's really nice to have all of those people in your corner there with you.
Ah, so well said. And you were always so iconic. Every time I'd see your name drop in, I'd be like, there's something either hilarious happening or so like deep. I was like, wow. Like I it's like, ooh, Roger dropped in. What is going on here?
I'm a Scorpio stellium. It's like we're here or we're there. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. Truly, I've felt that. But so well said. It's potent. When you said potent, I was like, that's exactly what it is. And I do like that reminder. You don't have to come to Cosmic Boss with a business or a brand or anything. Like you can just come to learn about yourself, your place in the world, how to connect more deeply with others, and kind of like see what happens from there. Because we guarantee you, it's going to be magic. You're going to like the way you feel. We guarantee it. And so I love that share. So, you all are just making me so happy. Okay. And then Devon, yeah, what would you like to share with anyone listening who's kind of on the fence at home?
I'm going to share this in my most blunt Sagittarius way possible.
Go off.
For anybody that is here listening to the Cosmic RX radio here in the Cosmic RX community, you know that you are here for a purpose. You know that you are here on some grand assignment. And so there is no way that you or any of us are here to live some mediocre life that was set with rules that were not ours to begin with. So if you are standing at the door, ready to step into that next chapter of your life, let Cosmic Boss be the key that helps you unlock that, because it will absolutely do that and more.
I'm crying. I'm literally crying. I'm like, yes, like it's so true. It's so true and it's so powerful. And it just like moves me to hear you say that. And I just imagine the people standing at that door right now. And I'm thinking back to myself of like the moment, should I go to that door or not? And you don't know. And you do. And you're just like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it's just, everything that you're talking about and the way you all are showing up. It's like life changing, but like life saving to take the step in this direction. And I so love it. I love your Sagittarius pop off queen, but also so like eloquent, so poetic, and so clear, so clear. So how can people work with either of you? I'm sure by now, it's like you're both have such beautiful mastery and expertise and authority and skill and knowledge what you bring, but also your hearts and your energies and your souls are so beautiful. So I guess, Devon, if you want to start, how can people like find you? Is there anything that's lighting you up right now in terms of an offering?
Yeah, the easiest way to find me is on Instagram. I know we were saying our things about it, but yes, easiest way to find me, Instagram at Enlighten and Empower. And just wanted to add in here that Jupiter is like a degree away from hitting my midheaven in Gemini, and I'm ready to pop off.
Oh my God, the whole time you're talking, I was like, pop off, pop off, pop off. So you're like feeling, you're like, I'm literally ready for the planetary pop off right now. I feel it. No, I'm like, watch this space, because we know Devon is like, this is what she's doing before Jupiter even hit her midheaven. Okay. So buckle up, everyone.
Yeah. So I'm ready for the visibility. I've been creating capacity for it and excited to see where it takes me. So please feel free to connect with me there. And I'm just about to launch Costa Rica for next year. So I'll let that little seed be planted for anybody that would love an international retreat experience.
Where's my passport, honey? Life wizard, where's my passport? I love that pop up. And I also love what you said about increasing the capacity, right? That's part of this work is like, can I increase the capacity to actually hold all of this amazing, the opportunities and the light and the magic and the visibility and the abundance and everything that wants to like flow my way. So love that. And truly want to join you in Costa Rica. Roger, how can people work with you, find you, anything lighting you up in terms of an offering right now?
My website is moveinsideout.com. You can email me there. And right now, I'm working with clients privately or in small groups. And I work online. And I know some people, they're like, does that work? Like, I don't know. I had a lot of experience working with clients online. I have one of my most ardent clients. She travels the world half the time. And when she is even in Boston, she doesn't even see me in person. She's like, no, just I'm going to open my laptop. Like, it's fine. Don't even worry about it. What lights me up really about what I do with all of my clients, honestly, and it's hard to articulate, but I'm going to try because I know everyone's like, ooh, Pilates princess. And, I do all this stuff. And there's a lot of, I don't know, people just have so many misconceptions about what that is or what movement is or what their body should or shouldn't be able to do or whatever. There's just so many stories in our head about that. I do teach Pilates, but I studied with a physical therapist. She was my teacher trainer. And so a lot of what I do is actually like breaking down just how things work and how they move. And then we put it together. And that's like my favorite thing to do. So I do that with all of my clients. So I guess that to say, I'm not your average cookie cutter Pilates teacher.
I was just going to say, sign me up for a session.
I know,
right now.
literally, I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I need to get in a session right now. And I do like to say that is very South Node in Virgo. I was just talking about on this week's Astrology Isn't Real, like we're going to be rethinking health and wellness and our relationship to things like Pilates and wellness and less like performative and perfectionist, more about like, getting into the body and knowing that there's not like one type of Pilates body and not. So as Roger was talking, I was like, yes, that is very, very, very relatable. So beautiful.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me on my website, moveinsideout.com. My pleasure.
I love it. And this is the time. This is it. I was just saying, South Node and Virgo, we're all rethinking things like this. Like, there's no one Pilates body. There's no one way to do stuff. And I just love the space that you're holding for that and how you show up so authentically. So thank you. As like I knew was going to happen, I was like, let's make this episode for people. But I am walking away feeling so lit up, so energized, so just like on fire and grounded all at once from this conversation. So huge thank you to you two for taking time out of your busy schedules and showing up so generously with your magic and wisdom and stories. And if any of these stories resonated with you or you've been feeling that nudge to finally do the damn thing and step into your potency and your magic and, with confidence and community, Cosmic Boss is here for you. Our next cohort is opening soon. And this is your chance to like get the support, the tools, the people that you need to turn your dreams into this soul aligned reality and walk this path. And like Roger said, if you're looking for a sign, this is it. The two trees are also telling you to pop off, get ready to pop off in your purpose. So you can head to cosmicrx.com or our Instagram, the Cosmic RX, to learn more and get your spot. And just no matter who you are, where you're at listening to this, right? The bosses and I just want to remind you, you're so capable. You're so worthy. You have so much more inside of you than you probably even realized to share with the world. And I can't wait to see what magic you create. So until next time, thank you, Devon, Roger. Thank you to Maggie. This was so special.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So special. All right. Bye, everyone. Bye. Go follow them. Go hype them up. Bye. Do you love getting your Cosmic RX for the week here and want more? Make sure to sign up for our premium subscription so you can get exclusive access to bonus podcast episodes, all of my astrology info for the month ahead, and live new and full moon calls to help you manifest your dream life with an intentional international community of other cosmic baddies. Sign up through our link in show notes. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you want to know more about Cosmic RX, head on over to thecosmicrx.com. And if you really love this show, I'd love it if you left a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. I super love hearing from you and reading your reviews. All right, you cosmic baddie, tune in next week. And until then, remember, love yourself fully, work your magic, and take no shit.